Chris Edwards. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight as we unveil the start of a new basketball campaign. First up tonight, Carol Lawson and her Duke Blue Devils. Duke coming off a 29-8 campaign a season ago. The Blue Devils reached the NCAA Elite Eight after capturing the ACC Tournament Championship. And boy, should be a fun year for the Blue Devils. A lot of returning talent and also some newcomers that are in the mix, including highly touted freshman Emily Skinner out of Utah, who was ranked the #4 player overall in the class of 2025, and she joins a great list of returners for the Blue Devils. Looks like Skinner will start tonight along with Ashlyn Jackson, who was ACC All-Tournament team selection, a second-team All-ACC a year ago. Tiana Mayer will start at the one guard. Delaney Thomas, Jordan Wood, all out there for the Blue Devils as well. Coach Lawson's team scrimmaging their practice players, so a chance for those guys who go against the Blue Devils every single day in practice to get out here on Coach K court inside Cameron and have a little back and forth here as we get things going for the start of the 51st season of Duke women's basketball. Delaney Thomas will jump center for the Blue Devils. It'll be Jack Ringel who will oppose for the managers. Ready to go from Cameron. Great to have you with us. Another season is underway. Tap back controlled by the practice players, and it's Ben Childers who will bring it across the timeline, guarded by Mayer. Duke starts in a man-to-man defense. No real surprise. The Blue Devils so good defensively last year, led the ACC, giving up just 56 points per game and nearly creating a turnover on the first defensive possession. To the top of the key, Childers drives left, leaves one off for Jacobs. He'll fire a contested two. That's an air ball. Rebound inside in the putback for John Tolsma. First two for Tolsma, the practice players lead 2-0. About 30 seconds in. 2 6-minute halves for the women's scrimmage tonight. Here's Skinner between the rings for Duke. Uses a Wood screen, drives right of the lane, kicks one out to the right wing in Mayer. Extra pass up top to Wood. Wood looks left, feeds one that way for Ashlyn Jackson, 13 to shoot. Jackson drives to the ACC logo, finds Mayer open, right wing for three, off the back iron, no. Rebound volleyball at 4, it's out of bounds and will belong to the practice players. 5:09 to go, opening quarter. A 2-0 lead for the practice squad, and the Blue Devils will pick up full court man-to-man here. Blue Devils scored about 73 points per game a season ago as well. That ranks 7th in the ACC. Duke was very good at home, went 15-1, including winning 2 NCAA tournament games over Lehigh and Oregon to advance to the Sweet 16, where they beat North Carolina, and then to the Elite Eight, falling to South Carolina in the waning moments of that contest. Deep on the right wing with the basketball is Plumpton, guarded by Mayer. Plumpton terminates the dribble, feeds one deeper on the right, looks down low, nobody open, going to drive to the baseline, creates some space. Plumpton fires a two and knocks it down. Andrew Plumpton with his first two makes it 4-0 practice squad. Down low, Thomas right of the lane finds Mayer, right corner for three off the back iron, and skying up for the rebound is Childers for the practice squad. Childers into the front court, weaves a bounce pass down low for Ringel. He drives and lays it in. 6-0 lead for the practice squad. 4:25 to go here in the first quarter. A little nerves perhaps for this countdown to crazy. This Blue Devils got off to a slow start in this game last year too. Found a way to pull away there in the second half. Here's Mayer driving to the foul line, weaves into the paint, kicks it out for Wood. She's open in the right corner, fires a three, that misses, and the rebound tracked down by Skinner in the far corner. Skinner drives the baseline, puts it off the window, and there's the first of many baskets for Emily Skinner here in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Puts the Blue Devils on the board. 6-2 practice squad, 3:54 to go here in the first half. We'll have a 2-minute timeout, or 2-minute halftime at the end of this first half. Here's a jumper off the window, wouldn't go. Mayer gets the deep rebound, and now the Blue Devils want to run. Mayer behind the back dribble, finds Skinner on the left, head fake, up top to Mayer, fires a straight on three, around and off, and the rebound yanked down by Childers. Mayer's had some good looks at it from beyond the arc, but nothing to show for it yet. Here's Mayer, front court, now driving, dishing one down low, and the easy layup for Ringel. He's got 4, and the practice squad leads 8-2. Some subs checking in for both sides at the next dead ball. Skinner, center of the floor, waist high right-handed dribble, starts to angle right. Leaves one for Jackson up top. Now a chest pass to the left wing and Mayer, 15 to shoot. Back to Jackson, up top for three, off the heel of the rim. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Wood, but they say last touch by the practice squad. It'll stay with the Blue Devils. Jaden Donovan springs up off the Duke bench. She'll check in. Donovan, a member of the ACC all-defensive team a season ago, was the team's leading rebounder at almost 6.5 a game. Also led the team with over 1 block per contest. A couple of subs in for the practice squad as well. We'll get to those subs as we move on with the play-by-play. Inbounds to Donovan in the left corner. Feeds one for Jackson straight away. 15 to shoot. Jackson going to hoist up a three. Off the rim, wouldn't go. Kind of lipped out. And the rebound down to the practice squad. 8-2, practice squad leading. On the right wing, now right of the lane. Driving is Ringel. He's at the hot hand with 4 points so far tonight. Leaves one away as the bounce pass is flipped down to Grant. Grant now mid-post, goes to work with the right hand over Wood, left it short, good contest by Jordan, and the rebound down to Thomas. Here's Mayer, doesn't have numbers, driving anyway, finds Jackson, right wing for three, give it to him. Jackson led the team shooting 37% from beyond the arc. A year ago, she made 87 three-pointers to tie the single-season program record. And now the Blue Devils down 3, 8-5, 2:17 to go on a moving first-half clock here in the blue-white scrimmage. Out to the left wing. Ringel has it, swatted away. Thomas saves it on the baseline, right to Mayer. Here comes Duke. Mayer into the front court. Behind the back dribble, shovels one to Jackson, deep on the left. Off the front of the rim, wouldn't go. Rebound tipped high into the air, and Karam's out of bounds. It'll be the Blue Devil basketball when we come back. 1:59 to go in the first half. It's the practice squad leading the Blue Devils 8-5. More from Durham in a moment. $1:59 to go in the first half. It's an 8-5 lead for the practice squad. Blue Devils will have the basketball, 20 to shoot. About a 2-minute or so halftime coming up after this first half is over, and then we'll have another 6-minute second half scrimmage. First look at Coach Lawson's group. Jaden Donovan will be the inbounder for the Blue Devils. Riley Nelson has checked in for Duke for the first time. Nelson, who is a Maryland transfer, missed all of last year with injury. A redshirt sophomore. Excited to see Riley and the rest of the Blue Devils out on the court. Inbounds comes to Skinner. Skinner holds between the circles, calling out the play. Knee-high right-handed dribble. Skinner around a Thomas screen, moves inside the arc, fires along two, left of the lane, and knocks it down. Skinner has 4, and the Blue Devils pull to within 1 with 104 seconds to go in the opening stanza. Skinner with some token backcourt pressure here as it's brought across the timeline by Jacobs. Jacobs lobs a bounce pass for Tolsma on the right wing. Tries to kick one to the corner and does. Here's a 3 on the way, and that is good. A 3 from the far corner, and an 11-7 lead for the practice squad. Trying to see the number on the player there. We'll get it for you in just a moment. That was David Jacobs who knocks down the 3. Here's Skinner driving in, left it short, but the rebound picked up by Thomas, and Delaney lays it in. First 2 for Delaney Thomas, who averaged just a shade over 7 points a season ago, scored in double figures 16 times in her career in 10 games last year, including some big moments in the heart of the season. Here's Tolsma driving into the painted area, shovels one away for one of his teammates. Now back to Tolsma, and the pass to the head of the key thrown away. It'll go out of bounds, and it's back to the Blue Devils. Trailing 11-9, 50.9 seconds to go in the first half, and Andrew Plumpton back into the game for the practice squad. Duke, if they wanted to hurry here, could go 2 for 1, although I don't think they're thinking 2 for 1 on October the 3rd, probably. Here's Donovan up top. Donovan finds Riley Nelson at the foul line, missed a turnaround 15-footer, and the rebound down to Elliott Grant. Grant up the near sideline. About a 10-second difference, shot to game clock, so the Blue Devils will get one more possession. On the right wing, Wilcox drives the baseline, had some space, but wouldn't go all the way to the basket, just backs it out, tries to chew a little more clock. Bounce pass comes to Grant. Into the paint, Grant lost it, and it's taken away by Jordan Wood, and the Blue Devils can play for the last shot of the half. Skinner into the front court, deep on the left, 12 to shoot. Skinner around a Wood screen, drives left, terminates the dribble, up top Wood, open for a straight-on 3, you bet. Jordan Wood made 11 threes a year ago, gives gives the Blue Devils the lead. Here's the half-court heave. It's no good. And at the end of the first half, it's Duke a 12-11 lead over the practice squad. Jordan Wood with a big three just before the horn. Blue Devils have the 1-point lead as we head into halftime. We're back with the second half in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Blue Devils get the first crack at it here in half number 2. It'll be Jackson to inbounds as the Blue Devils move right to left here in half number 2. Jackson had that big three in the first half of this game. Ashland had such a big year for the Blue Devils. 12.5 points per game a season ago. Tied Tricia Liston for the single season school record and made 3-pointers in a year. Scored in double figures 18 times for the Blue Devils a year ago. Mayer between the rings, around to Delaney Thomas screen. Up top to Jackson. Looks down low for Delaney. Skies up to catch it mid-post. Up with the left hand and puts it in. 4 for Delaney Thomas, and the Blue Devils lead 14-11. 5:40 to go in the blue-white scrimmage here from Cameron Indoor Stadium. Lob comes to the right wing where Wilcox starts to drive on the baseline, now to the foul line, guarded by Jackson. Back to the basket. Wilcox plays one out deep on the left. Here's Plumpton, who drives, pulls up from the foul line and hits a 15-footer. 4 in the game for Andrew Plumpton. 14-13. Now down low, Skinner trying to get the pass, couldn't haul it in. Blue Devils maybe trying to go a little too fast that time. Duke still leading by a point with 5:17 to go. Blue Devils will open their season on November 3rd out in Paris, France. They take on Baylor before coming home for a couple games against Holy Cross and Norfolk State. Nearly a travel, no call. Driving, pulling up from 2, and getting the roll is Varun Akud, his first 2 of the game. 15-14, the practice squad with the lead, under 5 minutes to go. The good news for every team is it's only October 3rd and a lot of practice left for all these teams across the country. Thomas mid-post goes up with the right hand. A strong take by Delaney Thomas. 4 in the half, 6 in the game for Delaney, who's continuing to grow in her role as a Blue Devil. Had such a phenomenal sophomore campaign, and now has 4 big points here in the second half. 16-15, Blue Devils by 1. Driving, shutting off Wilcox is Skinner. Now Wilcox drives, a little right-handed floater, left it short. Jackson the rebound. Duke wants to run. Jackson doesn't have numbers, driving anyway, finds Thomas left block. Delaney into the post, finds Nelson now at the foul line. She misses the short jumper, and the rebound yanked down by the practice squad. 4 minutes to go. 1 more media timeout left. Subs ready to check into the next dead ball for both sides. Deep on the left wing, Thomas out to guard for the Blue Devils. Handoff comes to Childers. Now driving, hanging, and traveling is a member of the practice squad. Jordan Wood and Jaden Donovan back in for Duke. Elliott Grant returning for the practice squad, along with David Jacobs. John Tolsma also back in. Duke leading by a point, 16-15. And it'll be Donovan who will be the inbounder. Donovan started all 37 games for Duke last year. 19 times she led the team in rebounds, blocks, and ranked 3rd on the team in assists, 4th in minutes and in steals. 19 games with 7 or more rebounds for Duke a year ago. And Jaden looking to take another step this year. Mayer left of the lane, misses a 15-footer from the elbow, and the rebound pulled down by Childers. 3.5 minutes to go. Mayer out to guard Childers near the timeline. 17 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to the high post, picked up by Elliott Grant. Now out to the left wing where Jacob stumbles, had it stolen by Wood. Wood a one-on-one, goes to the hole and lays it in. 5 in the game for Jordan Wood, and Blue Devils lead 18-15. Childers now into the front court, guarded by Mayer. Bounce pass left of the lane, knocked away. Picked back up by Grant. Grant now drives the baseline, spin around jumper over Wood. That's too strong, and Skinner has the rebound for the Blue Devils. Skinner pushing the pace into the front court, driving lane all the way to the hole, lays it up, no, but she'll head to the line. First foul of the game. Pretty good. We played over 9 minutes of basketball and get our first foul of the game. It'll go against Plumpton. That's his first on the team, and Skinner will be at the line after the media timeout. 18-15, Blue Devils have the lead. Back with the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds after this timeout. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the blue-white scrimmage. Duke leading the practice squad 18-15. It'll be Emily Skinner at the line for a couple of free throws. Skinner, as you mentioned at the top, the number 4 overall recruit in the class of 2025, according to ESPNW. Played in the Jordan Brand game, the McDonald's All-American game, and made several highlight reel plays in that McDonald's All-American game, including that great assist where she was falling out of bounds and threw it to a teammate to get the bucket. At the line for the first time in this blue-white scrimmage, and does not get the roll on the first. Skinner, a 2-time Utah Gatorade Girls Basketball Player of the Year, scored over 2,300 career points. A native of Providence, Utah. Gets the second free throw, 5 in the game for Skinner. Delaney Thomas checks in for her. 19-15, Blue Devils have the lead. Running the baseline and getting it into a trap as the practice squad, trailing by 4. Under 3 minutes to go. Trap at midcourt, nearly stolen, and it almost was stolen twice by Donovan. It comes to the left corner where an open 3 is missed, and the rebound on the baseline secured by Tolsma. Kicks it out to the right wing. Long on a 3 is Childers, and Donovan the rebound for Duke. Hit ahead looking for Jackson, intercepted, and Childers the other way. Doesn't have numbers. Thought about a long 3 from the right wing, but instead will run a little half-court set with the practice squad down by 4. Deep on the right wing, Childers spins a bounce pass to the right block. Going to work on Delaney Thomas was Grant. Now it comes back out and down low. It's knocked away and intercepted. Mayer into the front court for the Blue Devils. Feels the pressure from behind. Now wants to weave through some traffic. Mayer with 2 minutes to go in the game. Backs it out near the midline. Horn set for Duke. Mayer angles right. Shovels one for Donovan. Donovan baseballs one to Jackson. Open left wing for 3. Bang! Second 3 for Ashlyn Jackson. She's got 6. Blue Devils lead 22-15. Here's Tolsma, right wing, passed on a 3 and turned it over. And then just for good measure, Donovan just blocks it. A little how do you do? It'll go back to the Blue Devils with 1:43 to go in the game. Riley Nelson back in for the Blue Devils. Jordan Wood departs. Jackson inbounds to Mayer. And here come the Blue Devils with about 95 seconds to go here in the game. Mayer starts to drive. Lane, down low for Thomas. Delaney catches. Turns up with the right hand. Little baby hook and gets it to go. 6 this half, 8 in the game for Delaney Thomas. And it's a 24-15 lead for the Blue Devils. 80 seconds to go. Weaving through traffic is Plumpton. Now kicks it away to the left wing. 3 from Jacobs, barely grazed in front of the iron, and Nelson the rebound. Steams ahead, finds Jackson right wing, thought about a 3, now drives, finds Thomas at the foul line. Line drive, 15-footer around and off, and securing the rebound is Plumpton. 1 minute to go. 24-15, Blue Devils have the lead, and Donovan just picked the pocket. Donovan finds Mayer on the left. Thought about a transition 3. Cross-court skip past Jackson. Deep right wing for 3, and a dagger. Third 3 for Ashlyn Jackson. An exclamation point for the Blue Devils. And a substitution timeout for Karen Lang, who's coaching the Blue Devils tonight. Anna Wickstrom, a rookie from Norway, will check in along with Haley Johnson. Johnson, a graduate transfer from Pepperdine, where she earned her bachelor's degree in communications in 3 years at Pepperdine. Played 31 games for the Wave. Total 21 points. Meanwhile, Wickstrom, a 2-time league champion in Norway, and they're getting some run here in the last 45 seconds with Duke leading 27-15. Wilcox on the right wing, thought about a long 3, instead feeds one to the center of the floor. Munka drives, puts up the right-handed runner, and gets it to go. 27-17 Blue Devils, 30 seconds to go. They can't run it all the way down, about a 5-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Mayer between the rings. Yo-yos the ball with her right hand right at her waist. Nelson sets a screen. Mayer gives it to Riley. She's going to fire a straight on 3. Off the heel, no. Rebound down to the practice squad with 12 seconds left. Speeding into the front court. Bounce pass comes to Tolsma. Drives the lane and lays it in. 4 in the game for Tolsma. And now the Blue Devils can just dribble it out. And if you believe in this being a victory, as Mayer drives, kicks it out into corner. Johnson for three, too strong. That's the game. And a good start for Coach Lawson's team. They beat the practice squad tonight 27-19, and their first public showing here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Much more ahead for the Blue Devils. They'll open the season in Paris November the 3rd against Baylor. Back home on November the 6th when they will take on Holy Cross, and then it's off and running from there for the Blue Devils. Coach Lawson's team wins it. Delaney Thomas finishes with 8 points to lead the way. 9 points for Ashlyn Jackson on 3 made three-pointers. 5 points for Emily Skinner. 5 points for Jordan Wood. 27-19, the Blue Devils win it. Stay with us. More of Countdown to Craziness coming up in just a little bit right here on ACC Network Extra.